I'm
Sorry.
very.
No, thank you, Amari, for letting me, slash Ryan, for letting me know.
Yeah, he just messaged me and just was like, "Hey, are you guys doing that today?" So thank you, Amari, for the heads up on that one.
Thank you, Amari, for the heads up. For future Dom and anybody who's just real quick checking in, TLDR, the party had a beautiful conversation with Zanzan, who explained that he had been a pawn being used by none other than Captain Sark Tolliver as a spy on the individual named Azek Thorm, which led him spiraling down to eventually having to work with whatever sect of the Cult of the Crushing Wave this is on their search for the powerful object beneath the sewers of Mulmaster. This object being the Pact of the Rod Keeper that bound itself to Zanzan. Zanzan explained how he had got there. The party suggested that he go with Lol into the Underdark to avoid whatever terrible fate awaits him on the surface, now being bound to this Rod of the Pact Keeper. The party met with Law, who performed a beautiful but also terrifying execution on one of these cult members. Had a big group hug, accepted Zanzan's apology and proposal to go travel into the Underdark to get out of Mulmaster. Asked the party for a favor to return Zol, her partner, back to her, or at least his body. The party did so with some flourish. And now we have just discovered that the funerary mask, the jade funerary mask, is worth 250 gold pieces, and the uh, blue uh, aquamarine stone that hangs on a tarnished silver chain is worth another 500 gold pieces from the sarcophagus. And I think that's the TLDR. Sorry that we missed some of the beautiful moments of Zanzan and party. But I guess that'll just be our story to tell, right, guys?
Yeah. Carry that in our heart forever.
Absolutely. So, Zanzan and Lal return to the Underdark. The party is back on the surface streets of Mulmaster. I believe you are all heading back to where we started this adventure to go meet up with Zivan, the only Sergeant Maskier. Um, and she is over, I believe, at the South Road Keep. So, unless there's anything we want to do on that way, if there's any RP that wants to happen, as you guys go from one side of the city all the way to the other side. It'll take a little bit to get there. Uh, so, if there's anything anybody would like to talk while we're doing this walk, it is a early evening night in Mulmaster. A light but steady rain continues to fall. Some parts of the street beginning to have small bits of flooding, making it a little bit longer, tracing your way back. But the city streets of Mulmaster are always alive.
Jove will grab Jasper's attention and say, "Hey there, Jasper. After we settle up here, maybe we all can go get a drink, and you can tell us about that other job you were talking about."
Yeah, all right. Um, as a player, I'm trying to remember what that was.
It was from oh gosh, the your
Yeah. Oh,
Zentarum
yeah, yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That it would be the banditry south of town, where a number of caravans had been disappearing. I'll just say this for everybody as players to remember, slash Jasper in character to note, that a number of Zenitrim shipments had been lost due to these bandit attacks out to the south, that the City Watch had been currently keeping that a bit under wraps currently. And the Zenitrim are very interested in the recovery or at least the cessation of this banditry as it is starting to dig into their profits. What these caravans have been traveling that is so important to the Zenitrim has yet to be determined or at least discovered. But that is, I believe, what you're referring to.
How uh, how far out are these attacks happening?
Uh, Typically, within a day's journey outside of Mulmaster, closer to the flooded forest. Many of the caravans making the trip from like Raven's Bluff, which is a sizable-ish city south of the flooded forest, towards kind of the mountain range. Part of the Erspur Mountains continues down south, lining this area. In fact, if we go look, I believe I've got the world map on the pins in general. I can point it out with more. So there's Mulmaster here. Raven's Bluff is far down the way past the Vast. You can see the Erspur Mountains. So it's that long kind of road from Mulmaster all the way down to what eventually leads to Raven's Bluff. So the closest attacks are only a couple hours outside of the city. The farther attacks are going to be closer out towards the flooded forest. But all caravans and all of these stories all originating either leaving or going to Mulmaster.
Yeah, I didn't expect this this little traipse down in the sewers to go so quickly. So I'd have time for that and tomorrow if you all do. But yeah, we can talk about it once we have some drinks in us.
Joe will nod and continue walking.
After moving with our new ambiance music in the background, trying something different for the streets of Mulmaster, you make it to the South Road. Keep with your spoils in tow, and ask the guards once again for Sergeant Masquier, who promptly has you escorted up to her office, where she is currently behind what seems to be an ever-present mountain of paperwork, as she furiously scribbles one after another, making seal after seal, sign after sign. Ah, welcome back. I take it your excursion was successful.
Yeah, a good number of troglodytes lie dead down there. And we even found that tomb that people whisper about. So everything between the entrance and there is good and dead.
Excellent. I'm happy to hear of your report. And she, and whilst doing this, continues to stamp and write through, reaches over into a drawer and pulls out a official, like City Watch kind of sack of gold and puts it onto the table. The agreed upon sum. Thank you for your service to the City Watch and, of course, to the great city of Mulmaster. Would you all be... Yeah, Jasper, you go ahead and scoop that up.
Yeah.
Jew puts the quill and some of their stuff down and looks up with their lightly gray-streaked hair. Would you all be interested in further work with the City Watch? I have a fellow member of the City Watch who is in need of effective hires for a journey outside the city.
Is this urgent?
To me, no. To him, I couldn't care less. But he has asked. It is Captain Gideon Hoke. You'll find his office out towards a lower level than my own. But if you feel inclined to continue to offer service to Mulmaster, and you don't mind taking a trip south of here, I'm sure Captain Hoke would be appreciative of the help. But if you're asking if it has any sort of real urgency, the answer is no. I care less about the comings and goings of caravans south of here.
Yeah, we'll see what that's about.
Absolutely. I believe he is off duty for the evening, but should you return tomorrow, The city watch will promptly escort you to Captain Hulk. Once again, with blessings from Bane and from the city watch, thank you for your service for Mulmaster. And then continues to get right back into this mountainous pile of parchments.
Yeah, we'll make a quick exit unless someone else has something to say.
No, I'm good.
Yes, with
Then we do.
a polite nod and continuing on, you all thump, leave the South Road Keep with your gains. Where do you guys go afterwards? Still kind of early evening. The night is relatively young. Mulmaster is ever present and ever awake.
Do you all have the patience to go see what this fucking guy wants?
I think she was saying that he's off duty now, so
Oh, okay.
we can hit him in the morning before we go. But I'd be down to go back over to the Ox Pit and have a little drink, and maybe we can split our loot as it was. Freddie, maybe you can take some of those items that need to be liquidated, and maybe your silver tongue can help us get a little more gold out of them.
I feel like that is my job.
One of
I
many.
can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock in Mulmaster. There's money is always being moved around. We can do those rolls now. Go ahead. You can either take them at their market price of 250 and 500.
for it.
Roll for it then.
Persuasion?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We're gonna do 2 rolls. One for mask, one for necklace.
Alright, well, the first roll is a 23.
First roll for 23 for the mask. You find somebody who is a purveyor of artifacts of this nature, and they offer you the sum of 350 gold pieces.
Alright, and then the necklace.
Ja.
Oh! That was only a 9.
A 9. Yes, unfortunately, the necklace is a harder sell, especially with the tarnished chain. You find that it is not a hot commodity and eventually settle on a price of 650 to another buyer who buys it at a lower cost. However, that still leaves you with 750. One really good roll, one really bad roll, brings us right back to even. So you have 750 gold
Halfling crit
pieces.
fail, even though I'm not a halfling.
Halfling crit fail. Mm-hmm. Every single time for a 2. And then you also have 20 gems. They are currently uncut. At their uncut value, they are 10 gold pieces. However, if you are able to find somebody to cut those stones, they could be sold for up to 50 gold pieces.
I can check my guild.
Yes, absolutely. But we'll save that for another time once you get back with the guild. But with 750 from the treasure that's been sold, and then of course payment from the sergeant, it is going to be 900 gold pieces on your guys' person to be split between the 4 of you. Minus what other gold that you have found.
Ooh.
Yeah, I found that 64 gold.
So that would make it 1,014 gold pieces to be split between the 4 of you.
You just had to find an amount that was divisible by 4. Did anybody else find any other gold?
I did not.
Okay, so right now we're looking at 212, I believe, for each person.
If Joe was thrown on the 64, that would take us to 1014, so it'd need to be 250 and then 14 divided by 4.
Oh, you're right.
I got you. So it'd be like 253? And then 2 of you guys would have 254? there's the math. So
Was that 254? You said?
two of you guys would get 254, and then two of you guys would get 253. Just
I'll
kind of
take
depends.
I'll take the lower.
So the siblings will take the 253. The out of towners will take the 254. As you watch, as you guys make your way back to the ox pit, you have to go through the bulk of Mulmaster to get to kind of the center where the ox pit is. As you see Freddy go to kind of vendor to vendor, the Jade Mask immediately comes back with a fat sack of gold. A surprisingly large amount, like a whole halfling head size. However, the necklace, you watch Freddy go to place, and only finally, a little while away from the ox pit, finally somebody bites. It's still a fat sack of gold by comparison. So, you guys with 3 big old sacks of gold, are beginning to kind of count out and get it all set together and split it up amongst yourselves as you make it back to the ox pit, where Crew Meg Ever Tentful says, "Ah, Rory, Jove, Jasper, and Freddy, welcome back."
Yeah, good to be back here. We took care of one of the problems that was there on the board, so been a pretty eventful day, but we're all on our feet here, as you can see.
Yeah, which one did you end up?
Tell by the smell, it was quite
Pretty
the
shitty.
adventure.
Believe it or not, we smelled worse before we just got here.
Yeah, underneath whatever it is you guys are wearing, I smelled it. Shit, yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and take that off the job board, and whistles over and sends somebody out to go update the job board. Well, the end of any good adventure deserves an equally good ale. What can I do for you?
A Ronak, as always. Please and thank you.
Of course.
Pour me one of them full sails that's been hitting the spot as of late.
Of course. Jasper?
Something obnoxiously strong.
Obnoxiously strong. I got something just for you. It's called an Elminster's Choice. Just got it in from Shadowvale here. It's real hard to get a hold of this stuff. A little bit pricey, but I promise you ain't had nothing like it before.
Yeah, that sounds just about right.
What about you over here, Freddy?
Give me something bitter. I need something to get the smell of shit out of my mouth.
Then let's make that too Elminster's Choice. It's heavy, bitter, dark, only a wee bit cloudy. Just like Elminster himself, right? Fucking wizards.
Good enough.
Rolled 11 on history.
You definitely, you're like, of course, Elminster, heavy, bitter, dark, a little bit cloudy. He's on the money. So Kermit goes in the back, and as you guys are counting out and doing the math of this, returns back with a Rornak, a full sail, and 2 Elminster's Choice are put in front of you. Go ahead, everybody roll me that Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, Joe's going for a full quaff here.
Full quaff.
Oh no, another halfling crit fail.
Oh no!
4.
Oh, 9.
I also got a halfling crit fail. For 5.
Oh my god.
Youch. It's a 21 for Rory.
It's a long
Rory,
day, okay.
yeah, Rory, the Rornak is exactly what you're looking for. Like, you finally found the drink from Mulmaster.
We've got it down now. The science is there for it.
Oh yeah, your body takes that in like nectar from the gods. The rest of you all, It's almost like there's the whole sewer has just latched itself to your upper lip. For you, Jove, it just cuts through the full sail, and it's just wrong once again. It's not homebrew. It's not any of that, good halfling drafts, and it sits with you raw. For my two siblings over here, the Elminster's choice really is it's the heaviest, most bitter, dark brew you have ever had. It is more bitter than the city of Mulmaster itself, and you immediately spit it right back up. I mean, you watch them almost in union, like brother sister duo, pull it, take a swig for it, and then immediately, like, the mugs go down, and, like, Jasper pulls the mask forward a bit. Freddy, like, puts his mouth to it, and they just bleh, just put it right on back. It's awful.
It's like Mr. himself.
Yes, absolutely. It is heavy, bitter, and dark. It's just a little bit cloudy. And you all kind of share that, and only Rory, like, everybody, you finish your whole thing and put it down, and everybody's just kind of looking at their glasses and pushes it a little bit
Yeah,
farther
no,
away from them.
She calls Crew Meg back and asks for a strong wine instead.
Yeah, I got something for you. And he goes to go fetch some of that. Let me find. Where are my wines? I have a list of wines here. There we are. Okay, absolutely. Yes. Get you a Tetherian Tanagluth. It is a red spiced wine from Cormier. Go ahead and roll me that Constitution saving throw, Jasper.
There we go. That's a 18.
Yeah, there you go. You're back in the money now. It's heavily spiced. You do have a palate for fine wines, and this would definitely count as a finer wine. It hits it just right. So it kind of burns through the bitterness. It's still a spiced red wine, but this one, with a poise that only those at this table would understand. You drink your wine, and it is much better.
Beautiful. She gets a fucking bottle of.
Yeah, absolutely. You let Krumig know, and Krumig comes over and places the bottle there on the table. Looks to you, Rornak. Another one.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it. We're in a bit of a good spirit, so keep them coming, please.
Absolutely. Did you, Jove, Rory? Did you want me to get your room set up? Still got time.
Oh, I would love to sleep in a nice bed tonight. So if that's the case, I'd appreciate it. And I'd also take another pull of this full sail. After wading through shit all day, I feel like we deserve getting a little shit faced.
Can do, Jove.
Yep, make that 2 rooms, crew Meg.
Absolutely. And Krumeg, does another whistle, sends 2 more people, gets you another full sail and another Rornak, and turns over to you, Freddy. Elminster's choice not being the right choice for you over there, Fred?
It did exactly what I wanted it to. We'll say that much.
Can I interest you in something else that's not just going to sit here on the table?
Uh, just the water, I guess.
All right, Freddy, you got it. And comes over and gets the full sails, the Rornak, and 1 water. Leaves the bottle of wine on the table, and then leaves you all to your devices.
So, yeah, I've got a job to the south. There's some trouble with some caravans. Merchants have been being attacked by bandits, and some friends of mine are losing a lot of money on it. Shouldn't take more than a day to get there, and all we need to do is find those bandits, clear them out, and come on back with hopefully some of what they stole from my friends.
Now, I'm sorry if I missed this, but when you say south of here, whereabouts exactly is that?
Which forest was it again?
Uh, it is south, towards the flooded forest.
Okay.
Yes, following along in the spot, so you can go straight down, which would, if you follow the river Liss, that'll take you down past where Fort Dalton is, which you guys are intimately familiar with. And then if you keep going down past River Dalton and Fort Dalton, it dumps into the flooded forest. Then you can keep going past the flooded forest for a time, and you start hitting what's called the Vast, which is a big region to the south in the Sea of Fallen Stars. That's where you get to the Vast, and then Raven's Bluff, and then you keep going south to like Kalimshan, and then keep going more south, and you'll hit like Milani and some other kind of different places in lands. However, if you're not going to take the river that way, there's land travel to where you go east of the flooded forest, in between the Urspur Mountains to the east, the flooded forest to the west, and then you can follow that down, and that eventually leads to the Vast, and then keep going down further to Raven's Bluff, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of the area, the dry parts of south of Mulmaster.
I know we've went down in that direction before looking for bandits and found cult members, so I understand if y'all are tired of that, but since we're looking to put screws in their plans anyway, might be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just spending some time out there in the flooded forest before we took our little adventure down in the sewers. So want to make sure that that place is safe as well. We can take the floating leaf down there. I ended up walking, took a little bit longer. Just didn't want to, you know, it's more of a team sport taking that thing. And frankly, I cut my teeth on beating bandits away from cargo and whatnot during caravans of uh, my father's merchandise. So it should be easy enough, especially with a group of capable folks like ourselves.
Who knows? Maybe that Captain Hulk is looking for help for the same thing, so we might get some extra money for our trouble.
Always love double dipping.
Yeah. Yeah, well, sounds like it's one wet spot to another, but at least this one is outdoors. Could use a little bit of a break with that. Plus, if the cold is involved, well, I can't just turn a blind eye here, so yeah, you can count me in.
Well, it's mighty appreciated. I know I can count on you all.
Jasper, I have your, you know, I, I trust you to the end of the earth to save my life more than once here. But that Eckworth fella kind of turns my stomach sideways. Do you trust him, Jasper?
Trust is a strong word to use. I trust the three people at this table. I don't know I could add anyone else to that list, to be honest. But, oof. Especially with the reality setting in with those in high places in the city, we need people who have our backs, even if we can't completely trust them. And what with them being part of the Zent ghetto, we can trust that they're not part of that that web, so to speak, or at least I hope so.
Well, that's good enough for me, Jasper. I think you make a good point. Looks like the high reaches are just as dirty as the lower parts of town, and we gotta trust people, and even if that means they can possibly put a knife in our back. Feels like just about anywhere you walk in this city, somebody's hiding in the shadows waiting to do so. So we can at least have some sort of working relationship with some folks. Maybe we can at least direct that knife into somebody else's back.
At the very worst, I don't intend to put you three in a position where Equars can get to your backs. If he gets mine, that'll be on me.
Well, let's not aim for him to get your back either on this one. All right, friend?
Thanks, Rory. And, she'll, take a, just drink the whole glass of wine in front of her.
Go ahead and give me that Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw.
Oof. Yeah, that hits hard with an 8.
Oh, with an 8, yeah. By the time you finish slugging that all back, you definitely keep it down because it's tasty. But you're feeling it. You're currently drunk.
If some time passes,
Soundtracking your content.
she kind of works herself up enough to say, or not even say, she stands up and puts a hand on Freddy's shoulder and says, "Could you come with me for a sec?"
And I do.
And she sits down at a table further away and motions for him to take a seat.
What's up?
Listen, I owe you an apology. You've done a lot to earn my trust, and I don't know if it's just bad habits from living in Mulmaster so long, but I forgot that while we were down there, and I was worried that Zanzan was untrustworthy and didn't trust you to not say something that could open us up for a world of hurt, and you've done enough to prove that that was not the right move. So I'm sorry.
Listen, sis, I might be a little brother, but I'm not as fucking dumb as I look. I knew what you were doing. I just, you gotta be a little more sly. I thought Mulmaster would have taught you that.
Yeah. Well, either way.
Have some faith.
I hope you
Have some faith.
forgive me.
I know what I'm doing. You know what you're doing. We'll figure it out.
Also, and like she kind of points a finger at you, and the fact that she's been in her drinks it kind of shows there. Fuck you, man. Do you know what? I thought about you every fucking day after Dad took you away, and you know, word spread about what happened in Flan. A fucking dragon practically raising it to the ground, and I don't hear from you for more 10 days than I could bear. And then I see your fucking smug face walk into Mistress Vaj's estate without a care in the fucking world. And yeah, you know, it was kinda on me for not showing my face to you for so long, but it just really seemed like you couldn't care less that you had family here. I can't even tell if even now you see me as your sister or just as a coworker. What am I to you?
You'll always be my sister. But a long time has passed and a lot of shit happened, like you said, the shit in Flan and all the stuff that's going on here. It was never you. It was not wanting to see mom or whatever the hell she's doing with Zor, what's his face. It was always not wanting to be involved in that. So when I came back to Mulmaster, it's just the only thing I really knew. I just couldn't go back to family, and I mean, I eventually went back, and it was a fun night. But other than that, I was just kind of having to look out for myself, because that's what I have to do now. But now I have you again, and as long as you can keep your situation under wraps, I enjoy having you around. It comforts me to not be alone in a group of adventurers fighting for my life every day. Gives me something to fall back on.
You know, despite all that and despite your fucking lip, I I've enjoyed this time with you too, Freddy. And I hope you know I would burn the city to the fucking ground for you.
Well, if we take too long, I think Enix will do that for you.
Sure fucking would.
So, let's go kick some ass.
Yeah. Uh, could you help me back to the other table? I can't stand it right now.
Do you want me to get out a floating disc or something?
Nah, just don't make a fucking scene. Like, just help.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend like I'm laughing, like you just said something really funny. No, some people might be able to see through that. Like if anybody knows you, they're gonna know that I'm faking it. But not many people know you that way. So slap you on the shoulder.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Wow, I rolled the same thing twice. 15.
Bye. Yeah. She just slumps in her chair and pours another glass. Yeah. Nice, good shit. She's taking the rest that she doesn't finish back to Kirk.
Yeah, I'm a pretty heavy drinker. I got through my whole bottle of water. I'll take another one.
Yeah, I'd like something that is drinkable and strong. I want something I can get my body as quick as I can. This Full Sail Ale is good, don't get me wrong, but I want something with a little more bite to it and something I can shoot down real quick, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'll bite right back.
Ah. Oh, what the heck. Third time's a charm. Another Rory for me, please.
And he's gonna say cheers in halfling and quaff it down.
It's a 12 for Rory.
It's a 6.
Joe got 13. And he's kind of doing one of those. Oh, you weren't kidding. That is that's fire all the way down. That's good. I'm feeling good, crewmate. You're a good man. You're good. You run a tight ship here, and glad we get to be patrons of your fine establishment.
Oh,
Sure beats
thank you mightily, Joe.
traipsing around in the sewers all day. And whew, yeah, once it starts getting colder, I think that right there's the ticket to warmth and a nice night's sleep.
Thank you so much, Jove. Appreciate the compliment. And if you like that so much, I'll always make sure, especially when it gets cold out, to keep a bottle around just for you. Can interest you in another?
Let's see how Joe's feeling about that. He rolled a halfling crit fail.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're going for it.
Well, I like to say that you got to try things a couple of times to make sure that you really enjoy it. So, no time like the present.
Absolutely, and pours another one, nice stiff one for you right there, and you're re upped on the fire brandy. In fact, crewmate goes around and grabs himself a quick glass and pours himself one and clinks to you. To your compliment, Jove.
Once again, he'll say cheers in halfling and good luck and blessings on the Oxpit Tavern, all in halfling.
And
Jasper, whose head has been resting on the table, shoots up. Hey, crew Meg, I'm gonna need a fucking room. I can't walk across the city like this.
I'll cheers to that. And he'll clink you, clink you, Jove, and throw his back, no problem, just with that. All right, let me get this third room set up. He begins heading back and getting your room ready, Jasper. Jove, go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy, that is a 6.
A 6? Oh yeah, Jove, you finally got there. You've gotten real drunk in Mulmaster.
One of us.
And Freddie, you're just watching this and just watch the nosedive into hammeredness that your
Oh,
party is running to.
I'll even play some back music just to add to it.
Oh yeah, Freddie, you
It's like
pull
my
it out.
version of eating popcorn. I just like to just play like a back tune.
And it's almost like a pseudo song of rest, but for drinking. It's inspiring towards the drinks.
I feel after that shot, you see Jove kind of futzing around, and he pulls out his gaffer's pipe and kind of packs it and starts sucking on that for a little bit to get some of that tobacco in him. He's not trying to make any. He's not using the pipe of smoke monsters. Park doesn't want to reveal that's a magic item, but he starts really going to town on that thing to get himself a little settled.
Leans back the portliness of Jove, He's broad, but typically not portly, but with the certain kind of softness of the drinks, the red cheeks, the pipe in the mouth, and starting to really lean back in this human-sized chair. Jove very much fits all the nice, stereotypical halfling paintings of just, happy drunk and with a pipe full of halfling weed. Rory, it's an interesting experience for you because ale drunk is very different from wine drunk. You're used to sitting long things of meditation, enjoying it, drinking it really because, it takes so long to collect actual water. So you're used to that in moderation. But ale drunk you feel so. You put your whole weight into stuff in a way that you're not used to. That kind of almost bloatedness to it. Just enough of that kind of juice in there to keep you up, but everything, when you put your glass down, it's the full glass, Luckily, it's more of a tankard for the Rordak, so it's the wood on wood. Slam! Like, you lean back and you can feel it creak as you put your full weight against the chair. Seeing, Jasper's head kind of laying on the table, Freddie's playing a tune, seeing Joe with his pipe, and you just kind of put your elbows on and thump thump, like a good friend of ours once upon a time, who didn't know how to put the glasses down the normal way and would just slam everything.
There's like an extra, yes, there's an extra oomph with it, and almost like Rornak. I just imagine he's like the kind of drunk too, where like he's so not used to it that like every movement has like that extra added exaggeration to it. Like there's no like moving the arm. Like the whole arm is kind of like extending with it in like a weird fluid motion. You know the type.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very willfully.
And I feel like Jove, especially with his gaffer's pipe in his mouth, is gonna start spinning a yarn about one of Gaffer's old stories that he's got pretty down well memorized. And is gonna, especially with the nice background music from Freddie, he's gonna go in and drunkenly tell a tale for the folks sitting around the table.
give me a performance check.
Can I? Can I help him?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
Don't roll with advantage. Roll me a d6 on top of it.
Ooh.
Well, I rolled a actual crit fail, so I will re-roll that.
Re-roll it, yeah.
And then add the d6.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Very good. That's a 15.
A 15? Yeah, Jove, you begin telling a tale that your gaffer told you about escaping through Thentia, about avoiding the so-called City of Chains, it being so-called because of the slave trade that is very, very strong there, and how he shipped himself off in different boxes. He bought 3 boxes and labeled each one of them differently and sent himself through it. And quite literally, Halfling expressed himself through the city of Thentia. And you talk about all the foibles and interesting like bits and parts, and you even do a little bit of the pantomiming of like putting yourself in the box. And by the end of the story, you know, you're basically on top of the table, not just to your party, but for everyone around you. Freddie, you keeping playing just in time with them with the crescendos to really accent the story itself. And by the end of it, Jove, you got a nice little crowd there who all laugh and follow along at one of your gaffer's tales through Thentia.
Yeah, and he's pleased as punch with that, and he just sits down, and he's just kind of melted into his chair now.
Sorry, my bad. Holberg. Holberg is
Oh.
the one that sells. It is not Thentia. My bad. Thentia is a different place. But
I'd
there's
say
now a bit of a crowd around you. You have their full attention.
Yeah, I feel like Joe's eyes are swimming a little bit here. And yeah, I don't know. I think he's just gonna kind of be puffing on it on his pipe at this point. Uh, Not one to draw too much attention.
The man of mystery.
Yeah, Joe will say is like, folks, we're gonna enjoy the rest of this night here, looking at the bottom of this glass. But there's more of that where it came from, and this is the Oxbook Tavern's my favorite bar in this whole dang city. So, and Freddie is probably the best harper. I don't think it's harper, but harpist that Mulmaster's ever seen. So, this dynamic duo might be coming right back at another time. Uh, Jove is starting to really those his blood's real thin right now.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah. There's a bit of kind of a that goes around, but a couple hanger-ons. Suddenly, Joe, there's a drink placed in front of you, from a nice couple over by the bar who enjoyed your story. It's a full Rornack actually, and they kind of wave to you as a round is bought for you, and a round is also bought for you as well, Freddie. As
they place that down, too, a very drunken Rornack kind of swings and like noodle arms over and points to them and says, "That's a great choice right there. Let me tell you."
They immediately smile and raise their glasses. You have a strong suspicion that with their kind of wooden mugs that they are also enjoying a Rornack, and lift to you.
He taps on his drink. That's me. That's me.
Same.
Really? And they get in closer. Rory, you'd let him have it. You tell him the whole thing. Oh, so you're the vomit comment, but now you're the Rornack. You went from throwing up the drinks to being the drink.
I make the I would like to think that I now make the other people spit up their drinks. It's a long way. I've gone through a lot, but we're on the other side of it as he takes a long drink. Ryan in IRL is taking a long drink saying that too, you know.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me that Constitution saving throw.
I know what you want. I know what you want.
You
God
what?
damn
We
it.
all want it. Just say it.
I want it.
Everybody wants it. It's a 13.
It's a 13. Yeah, Rory, you keep on going. You're crushing this right now. You're just getting more and more hammered. You are starting to feel it's getting harder and harder to keep your head up though. But Rory's fully conversating with the locals of Mulmaster now as he's making his rounds, and Rory starts his own loop of storytelling of telling the story of transitioning from the Vomit Comet into the Roarnak. Jasper, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I think she's. I
Oh,
think she's done.
give
Dunzo.
it give it to me real quick.
Okay.
Give it to
All
me,
right.
Neil.
Is that with disadvantage?
No, just roll the Constitution saving throw. I just want to see something.
It's 14.
14? Yeah, absolutely. It's not long as Rory is doing his own little spin of stories. As Jove, you let Rory kind of take the attention from you. Freddie, as you continue as your harp gently weeps in the background. Jasper, you do lay your head down and
Yeah, she's out.
out.
I'll call. I forgot the bartender's name. I'll call his attention to her and
Crew Meg.
get her moved. Yeah, Cromac. And get her moved to a room.
Well, first time for everything. Yeah. Whistles and two of the workers, two human women, go and help Jasper with the crew Meg, grabbing her kind of by the feet, lifting her up, and then the two ladies hoisting her onto the arms and go up and get you situated into your bedroom, Jasper. Still fully armored and everything, just sleeping it away, sawing logs.
I think once in a while she'll wake up because her stomach's upset and like work one piece of armor off and then fall right back to sleep. And
I love that.
slowly gets through it.
It throws off a glove. It gets like one boot off. Gets the shoulder piece off. You know, over the course of a couple hours, eventually it's just the mask on, and whatever your undergarments are.
That stays on.
Excellent. Rory, you make circle after circle after circle, and you pretty much have a full Roarnak the whole time. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw. This time with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, that's an 8.
That's an 8. The famous Vomit Comet does not make an appearance. Instead, there's a new story, as eventually you get to the point where you want to showcase some of your acrobatic skills. And in one of the kind of hanging pieces that can be lit with a series of lamps, Rory does a leap from the second floor, swings across it, lands with a heavy thump on both feet, cheers as the bar joins him, and then immediately passes out.
Love it. Perfect.
As
Jove
iconic.
Jove would quickly be at his side and helping him up the stairs and all that. He's all right, buddy. Looks like you have one too many Roarnaks now. Now who's going to be complaining about who's snoring tonight?
Roarnak, you are on the edges of your consciousness. It's really your body's doing the work. The Rornak that we all know and love is just a shadow of himself, but enough to hear Jove say that.
Let's see how you deal with my snoring.
And Jove looks over to Freddy and says, Freddy, I think I'm gonna call it quits here tonight too. I don't know how much longer I got on my feet, but great work down there today. Pre- I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. And don't worry, we'll settle up the tab with Crew Meg. And see how much that water cost us, right? We'll give him a big old wink.
Sure thing, Joe. Go sleep or something.
And Job, not so delicately, is helping Rornak up the stairs. More delicate than Aquila was getting Zora Culkin down those stairs just a few days ago, but there are definitely some parallels there.
As you picking up Rory and then just kind of moving his whole weight, his kind of knees and shins being the ones that are hitting the steps of each one as you go step up, step up, step up. His upper half just fine, fully leaned on you, Jove, held on. It's just the knees and shins and some of the feet just thump 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 going up instead of down.
Yeah, don't touch the merchandise.
As
That's all I got.
yeah.
It's a very Samwise Frodo moment, except with a full-size person on top of Sam instead of.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
I appreciate you, Joe.
As you carry Rornak off to bed there, and then move over to your room. Freddy, you're left with the table, your kind of glass of water, a few hanger-ons. Look to you as you kind of finishing up your playing, but it is now just you, Freddy, with your glass of water at Crew Meg's Optics Tavern.
I'm gonna start playing a little louder and play kind of like a closing out tune, and send some lights just kind of like orbiting me with my instrument of illusions.
Closing time.
Open all the doors and let yourself into the world.
God, point me performance.
That is a 18 performance.
18? Yeah. Now that you're going at your pace and not Joe's pace, you start playing kind of a closing, kind of almost like a lulling tune, just trying to diffuse the energy of the night, aided by a couple bits of lights, and there's a couple individuals who kind of look panicked, but then see your cloak medallion and settle down a little bit afterwards. And you just kind of begin, as other people begin to kind of diffuse, the energy of the bar begins to kind of relax. People start paying their tabs, start moving on out. A couple individuals, you see one guy try to go and grab one of the lights that you're throwing out and miss it and just punch just kind of one of the wooden like support beams of the Oxpit Tavern, and just like goes to grab it and just puts his hand through it. Ow. Shakes it off. Pays his tab. Continues to start to head out. Until by the time you're finished with your small little set, there's hardly anybody left in the Oxpit at all. Just you, a couple other individuals who are too hammered, but don't have a room, so they're going to have to sleep that off and pay up when they wake up. Crew Meg and kind of his workers putzing about. Crew Meg calls over to you. Well, I'm about to call it an evening, Freddy. You want a glass of water for the road? Smirks at you.
How about you give me just like a regular ale for the road?
Nail for the road. You got it. You want something that's maybe not so dark and bitter and kind of cloudy this time around?
Oh yeah, no, I just want a walking drink.
Yeah, I got you, honey. Comes out with get you a Darndar. Those nutty tasting ales from the Sword Coasts, and get you one. And all right, Freddie, I'll just put it on your companions tabs. They're good for it. You go ahead and walk on out with that. I assume I'll see you in the morning. Come back, meet up with them, see how their hangover's doing.
Yeah, I think that's it's almost definitely the plan. Is we're gonna meet up here. Why don't I pay all the unpaid stuff?
You sure about that? It's a pricey one tonight.
Yeah, but I don't have to pay for my living, so pass it on and all that jazz.
Well, for a whole bottle of that wine, big old chunk of Rornax, it's full sail, dar for the road, 3 whole rooms for a night. It's gonna be 10 gold there, buddy.
I'll hand him 13.
You know, some people really don't like you cloaks, get the heebie-jeebies about you, but I like you a lot, Freddy. You come on in, you play for free, you don't drink up any of the expensive stock, you pay all the tabs for the people who do. Yeah, you're not half bad there.
You want to know the secret?
Yeah, fill crew meg on it.
You don't hire me as a cloak.
Fair point. That is a good secret. I'll keep that in mind. Alright, Freddy. Let's get you moving on out of here. I'm ready to call it an evening.
See you in the morning if you're up for it.
See you then. And Crewmeg helps usher you out and gets his final things going before he calls it a night. So we call the evening there for a close. I have some rewards for you guys. As Freddy, as you make it back to the Tower of Arcane Might, it's easy enough. They let you right back in past there. Let's get some experience points.
Please.
So,
Yes.
This might be it. This might be it.
I'm
with
crossing my
defeating
fingers.
1 Water Weird, 3 Lacedons, 1, 2, 2 Crushing Wave Reavers, a Fathomir, 7 Kuotoa Skeletons, 8 Troglodytes, for befriending Lull, aiding Florio's party, breaching the inner vault door, and opening the sarcophagus. All of you guys individually get 900 experience points.
Yay!
I believe that takes us to level 4, does it not?
It sure
It
does.
sure does.
Sure fucking does.
On top of that, you also all get 10 downtime days. And my 2 faction members gain 1 renown point.
Yay.
I get one for Emerald Enclave.
You do indeed. This is one of the
Huzzah!
ones that gives you renown points. Helping the flumps is a part of nature in its own way.
I didn't have any renown before that though, right? I just got
No,
rank.
no, you're the cloaks. The cloaks don't deal with renown. They have their own ranking system.
Don't even worry about that.
Yeah, you and Rornak do not need to worry. You guys are part of different orders that reward in different ways.
Okay.
Joss, thank you for asking. Important question. So I believe that takes us to level 4. Why don't we roll them hit dice? I believe, Jove, you're just taking the Foreign Ranger, correct? For your first ABI.
Yes, and I'm going to take the Impaler feat.
Taking the Impaler
Or
feat.
I should say Piercer. Piercer.
Piercer, got it. Jove taking the Piercer trait. Rornak, I believe you're taking 4 in Monk, getting your first ABI.
This is correct.
What are you using your ABI on?
I am going to use that on dexterity to max me out.
+2 to dexterity, gotcha. Freddy, that is, I believe you're taking a 4th level in Bard as well.
I am.
Taking the ABI, what are you going to use it with?
I have not decided yet.
That.
If I do ABI, it'll probably be Charisma. Oh, wait, no,
Okay.
my Charisma's 20? No. Oh, that's my saving throws a +5. Yeah, I'll probably do Charisma if I do that, but I'm going to look at feats and see if there's something I want in there.
Absolutely. And then Jasper. You've got the 2-1 split right now. What are you going to take your second level in?
It's gonna be a
fourth level.
second level into Rogue to get my cunning action.
Absolutely. So the 2-2 split, 2 fighter, 2 rogue. A fourth level monk, a 4th level ranger, and a 4th level bard. Here we are. Alright, we're gonna take let's take a quick 5-er right there. Let me gather some things, go use the restroom, let you guys roll your hit dice, decide some stuff, look up some feats, update your character sheets and the like. You know, we'll reconvene at like 8:02. And then we'll do a little bit more, and then, sorry streamers, next week we will not be here for an episode. We've got some players who have some obligations they need to take care of, but we'll be back the week afterwards. So we'll take a real quick break here, and then we'll come back and see where our adventure is heading towards next. All right, and break. Welcome back, everybody. So, Freddy and slash or Mikey, what did you choose as your feat?
I took. Oh, why wasn't I? Where is that? There it is. Magic Initiate.
For those of you who don't know, Magic Initiate lets you pick one cantrip and one
Two
spell.
cantrips.
How many?
Two cantrips, one
Two
first level spell.
cantrips and one first level spell from any of the arcane classes.
I
And
chose Firebolt, Prestidigitation, and Magic Missile in honor of our boy Zanzan.
it's a beautiful choice. On
It
top of
is.
that, what did you roll for your hit die, and what is your now hit point maximum?
I took the average because I'm a scaredy cat and my dice hate me. And
Both
so
of
now
these
I have
things are true.
31.
31. Excellent. Yeah, Jasper and slash Orkaya took your second level in Rogue, giving you your cunning action, I believe, which allows as a bonus
Yep.
action for, I believe that's the dash, used object, and one other.
Disengage and hide.
Yes, and hide. Um,
I am not a coward, but historically my die have always hated rolling half, so I took the average as well, and I'm now at 34 HP.
Gotcha. Jove took the Piercer feat, which, Jove, would you explain what that does?
Yes, it gives you a +1 in strength, which brings me to 16 in strength. Also, once per turn, when I am rolling damage on a piercing weapon, I can re-roll that damage dice, but I have to take the second roll. On top of that, when I crit with a piercing weapon, it adds another damage dice to the crit. I went ahead and rolled my HP. I got 6, which puts me at 42 hit points. Aquila also, her HP is tied to Ranger level, so her HP is now 25 for her max.
Wondrous. Welcome to level 4, Aquila. And last and certainly not least, Rornak and slash or Ryan. You took your
Yes.
you took your 4th level monk and took the +2 to dexterity, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So we are 4th level Way of Mercy monk right now. That did take us to the 20 at Dex, thanks to our race bonuses,
Nice.
and we did decide to be daring and rolled for our health, and we were rewarded for that, thankfully. So we rolled +8 on that one, which brings me up to 32 HP total.
Wondrous. Okay. Wow, you guys all have, rather similar health pools. Interesting. But not bad at all. So, as the law, or as the odd jobs, I always want to say lost and found. I hate doing it. But as the odd
Old
jobs,
habits, yeah.
old habits. I've said, the lost and found a bajillion times. I just gotta say the odd jobs a bajillion times, and then we'll reach balance. Jasper, whilst you are slumbering, you have dreams. And these dreams are no longer in first person, they're in third person. As you watch this figure, they are humanoid in appearance, but their entirety of their body seems to be made out of shadows. It's almost like the shadows are concealing. The only thing that really comes into any clear focus is that same mask, the mask, if you will. But instead of bright orange and red hair afterwards that follows it, it hangs down long, black, coarse. You can see small strands of it kind of fly away in some places. You can see that even more of the hair is tied up in kind of a high bun with more of this kind of long black hair flowing to the sides. However, it itself is not made out of shadow. As you watch this individual walk through crowded streets, quick movements of hands, moving from side to side, dodging people, being ever present, but almost living in the shadows of this crowd. And they are joined by 1, 2, 3, 4 more shadows. And as you watch this kind of 5 figures led by this strange mask, watching as they blend in and out of the shadows of the crowd, watching their hands, their fingers glide over coins and daggers, each one amassing its own wealth. You feel yourself sink from third person into first person, and you are standing in this very same crowd. And as you finally come into that first person perspective, you look forward, and all the figures stop. The central turns back, and there you are face to face with that singular mask. Welcome to the masquerade. Before you are awoken once more, sweaty, hungover, both the masks still firmly in place. You feel almost like this itch under your skin, an energy, just a certain je ne sais quoi that you feel like you've now just tapped into, a quickness that had been missing from you. And as soon as you get to appreciate that kind of quickness, it is crashed into by the hangover of this morning.
Yeah. She takes her sweet time getting her shit together. And eventually makes her way downstairs.
Absolutely. Rornak, for you it is a dreamless night. When you wake up, you find yourself laying down in an actual bed instead of your usual sleeping poses that you tend to prefer, take up a smaller space. It's really sitting in kind of the middle of the bed, taking that meditative pose, and then allowing sleep to come to you. But this, you wake up sprawled out onto a bed, one leg hanging off from the side. Immediately, you can feel what we all feel after a heavy night of beer drinking, that bloated, the as you come back to consciousness.
Well, at least they got me to the room, and he'll he immediately starts taking some time, just kind of rubbing his head, trying to lighten himself up a bit before he takes a seat on the floor. And after a few more deep breaths, he starts going into some of his breathing routines and just try and work his body through this as best as he can, you know.
Yes, as you take your time, you can hear other people wrestling already, the noise of the outside starting to kind of come through. Jove, you have what is probably the best night's sleep you've had in months. You don't wake up with that hangover, with your stout halfling resilience against poisons. You wake up feeling more at ease. I mean, it's like waking up and you're in such a great mood, and you can hear kind of the outside, the humble and bumble of the streets. You had a good drink on last night, told some stories, and you're feeling kind of at peace until you remember that you were in the middle of Mulmaster. And it kind of is take a hard sniff, and here you are once again, but not hungover.
Yeah, he'll take a second to collect himself, and I think he'll break out Gaffer's pipe and pack him a little morning smoke as he'll kind of get the cobwebs out of the head a little bit with that, and then he's gonna just take a few minutes and journal a little bit, just kind of pouring some of those feelings that you just described of last night, of kind of feeling at home a bit, even though being so far away from home, and just trying to revel in that and capture that on paper before he goes downstairs to start the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Freddy, you wake up and you feel just fine. You know, having a steady drink of water really hydrates the skin. Your skin feels great. You feel fully hydrated, fully supple, just ready for the whole day. You flex, you know, the hands, the already kind of healed two fingers on your dominant hand, moving. The two still kind of broken ones. You move them a little bit. You feel a quick couple. Still definitely on the broken side of things, but starting to get some of their movement back to it. However, it is easy enough for you to have your morning in kind of your now nicer dorm living spaces. The same super fine clothes on the towards that what do they call the old timey mannequins, where it doesn't have like the head or anything attached to it. Whatever that's called, in your room.
Scary. We called them scary.
Scary, yes. The scary figure holding your fine clothes up, but it is a otherwise pleasant day for you, added by the fact that you know for a fact that you do not have to go to class today.
Yeah.
But you're able to yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I think that I would just use this morning to probably read up and study those wizard spells that he's picking up.
Yeah, you go in early. We'll say the rest of the party, including Jove, it's a late morning for you at best. By the time Jove, you probably wake up a solid, 9, 10. Let yourself sleep the adventure off. Woke up. You finally see Jasper and Rory. Probably closer to like 11 noon, pull themselves out of there. So during this, Freddy, you're up and at 'em. 7 a.m. You're up. You're hydrated. You start moving. You head down in, do a little bit of sorting before anybody else has kind of really jumped into the day. Get ahead, and then for the better part of until probably we'll say around noon, you study, pull out some scrolls. You'd seen kind of some of the hand motions that Zanzan did, and found that you picked up prestidigitation, just like you said, like that. Like the first time you tried it. And you get to notice some of the other applications of it. It actually flows perfectly into your playing style, and you find that it's easy enough to add prestidigitation to a couple of harp pulls, making small noises and sounds and other stuff. It's the perfect kind of blend, and through doing that, you start expanding your gaze and gaining some of those new, specifically the phrase "magic missile never misses, man" guide you as you add all of your new spells into your repertoire of skills. Before around noon, after having tried everything out except for actually casting firebolts and magic missile in the archives, you start heading towards the Oxpit Tavern, making it, we'll say just for the sake of everything, simultaneously as Jasper and Rory both open the doors almost at the same time, and you both see each other, the same kind of incredibly hungover look on each other's faces. And then as Freddy is walking in through the door, you see Jove with kind of a late brunch already sitting at the table as you all kind of enter in at the same time.
You all have a good time last night?
I know I did.
I gotta be honest, I can't fucking remember.
Well, from a third party perspective, you were having a great time last night, Jesper, just like the rest of us.
No, good to hear it. Listen, this purse of gold is getting a bit fucking heavy, and after having to do some swimming on our last escapade, if y'all wouldn't mind me stopping by a armor smith to see if I can't buy a breastplate for myself and make my load a little lighter, I'd appreciate it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that for me, especially if it'll help keep you on your feet. So, let's do it.
All right, I think I know where the good spots are, the reliable artisans. So I'll make that trip real quick.
Yeah, you all re-meet back down at the Ox Pit. Jasper, you lead the way. The lot of you, Freddy with a knowing airs about it. Crewmag doesn't ask for any payment as you guys make your exit. Just waves you all off as you continue on. Some of you may be noticing, some of you maybe not. I'll leave that to your own character's imagination. As Jasper leads you through the streets of Mulmaster once again, in this now kind of midday. It's not actively raining this current day, but there is still a number of clouds in there. Big kind of thick clouds that go across the sky. The typical hustle and bustle of Mulmaster. However, a seemingly large amount of different mounts, from horses to other animals going through. Now that the weather's been cleared, you see a lot more movement through the city. Before Jasper, you come upon one of many a blacksmiths through. You are inquiring about a set of breastplate?
Yes, yeah, probably just a normal one. I don't want to blow up the bank on this.
Yes, you go to one of the many Goss smithies that are located around the city. You have a very good idea where any single one is at any point in time, and you easily go there. They have a very standard, breastplates. It's 400 gold pieces, the market value at it.
Do they have maybe one that's got some, I don't know, something worked in to make it a bit darker, less shiny looking?
Go ahead and roll me a d20. Just flat. Don't add anything to it.
19.
A 19? Whoa. Yeah. Looking through the shop, you find a breastplate that hasn't had any of the polish done to it. It appears that it's, rather on the fresh side of things. It hasn't had any of the shine or the polish, the final pieces to it. It's almost it's a singular piece of dark grayed out metal. Not quite black, but definitely approaching towards it. And it has a certain roughness about it. In kind of a beautiful way, like an untextured piece that doesn't seem to reflect any of the light off of it. It holds close to the body. So they have something like that.
Yeah, that'll do beautifully.
Absolutely,
So,
400 gold pieces.
Yeah, she'll happily lighten her purse for that one.
Yeah, with it they get you, fitted for it. They move some straps in some different places once you've removed your old armor, but it fits rather well. It's different now that you have so much more mobility with it, and you notice that this set of armor does not have any of the Goss insignias on it. Since there is no time, all of the embellishments, the standard Goss symbol, that big ant, like G with the bottom part of the G being made out of the hammer, an anvil, as is the Goss symbol, is nowhere to be found on this.
Less. Win-win. She asked if they wouldn't mind taking off this scale mail off her hands. It's a little worse for wear, but even for the materials, it's got to be worth something.
They take the scale mail, and it has seen some combat, so they offer you 20 gold pieces for it. Take it off your hands, and you come back in, and if you give a design for this later, they'd be happy to do that commissioned work.
Yeah, she'll. That's the deal. She doesn't have time to haggle today.
Yep, absolutely. You gain the 20 gold back, and if you so choose to embellish this armor at a later point, you know where to go to. Whole thing takes half an hour at most. It's a quick in and out deal. But
Beautiful.
you now have breastplate. So congratulations, no more disadvantage.
Yeah, 25 pounds lighter. Well, I'll take it. Well, thanks for waiting for me.
I think like during that time, Jove would have wanted to just like go and just like re-up on some javelins because he's been tossing
Yes.
those and they're getting all fucked up and some go awry. So, um, you know, Jove wants to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy enough to get some javelins from the same kind of Goss smithy. They make the points, and it's a very, very easy. They are 5 silver pieces per. So how many
How
would you
about
like to pick
hand
up? Hand axes. Let me find out. Hand axes are. Where's my cost? Where's my cost? Hand axes, because the whole thing, those are more expensive. Those are 5 gold pieces.
She'll take 2.
Take 2. Go ahead and take off 10. Jove, how many javelins would you like?
I mean, honestly, he wants to take as many as he can carry, and frankly, I as Kyle feel like I should be paying for these things. So I don't know, is 20 like that ridiculous?
Well, I mean, yeah, you haven't picked up any javelins since the start of this, so
Yeah, so
and
he
you're
probably
pretty.
needs a whole new set.
Yeah, you probably do need a whole new set. So yeah, we'll say 20 gold pieces to get you like the whole sets, the whole thing. Take all of your broken ones in, mend some of them, buy some new ones that need to be completely replaced. The whole javelin maintenance.
Is
Um,
there like anywhere on the wall like a nice looking spear or maybe a javelin that looks nicer than any of the other ones?
you go ahead and roll me a d20 right now.
That's 17, flat 17.
You see that there is one spear. It is made of one complete piece of metal instead of typically wood instead. It's this kind of like lightish, almost kind of green, green goldish kind of color to it. Go ahead and roll me. Oh, this would be. You could either roll me history or survival. Your choice.
We will do history.
History.
History roll is a 16.
A 16, you recognize that as an Ethereum spear. They are uncommon, typically, made from a singular piece. They have a rather exquisite piercing potential. And what that translates to mechanically is that for 500 gold pieces, you may possess this +1 spear. It does a +1 to rolls and a +1 to damage. It is not magical. It is It's the same rules as like the rapier that Freddy has.
Yeah.
It is +1 to the attack roll and to the damage, but it is not in and of itself magical the way that Jasper's obsidian finesse axe is. But it is a +1 weapon.
We'll go ahead and fork over the 500. He's got plenty of gold to go around, so I think he'll ask to see it and kind of give it a couple of good thrusts, and feeling pretty satisfied, he'll take it off their hands.
Yeah, and this spear's a little different. Instead of being more like a long needle, it's kind of like it doesn't have really like a point on it because it is just one big thing of Ethereum, and Ethereum is slightly more pliable. It's like almost like a giant ass toothpick. So pointed on both ends, it works like as both. With the center with the center having kind of like a leather kind of grip right in the kind of the middle of it, right on its balance points. And both sides, it's interesting because it's sturdy, but it has way more bend to it. You can just feel that like as you move it, just the weight moves nicer on this. Your other spear that you typically use, that's more needle like, the shaft of this thing makes up the entirety of its weight. But this whole thing is the shaft, and it's pointed on both ends. It just moves through the air with more speed. It just, overall, it is just higher quality.
Yeah, Jove definitely sits and thinks about it for a second and says, "Fuck it, I'm worth it." And he hands over the
Fair.
550.
Yeah, as Jasper is getting fitted and with this new breastplate, Jove goes over, and as she's making the final deal, sees Jasper finish that deal, goes, "Yeah, fuck it," hands over the 500, takes it down, and Jove, you have yourself a +1 spear now.
Nice. While we're here, I actually want to restock up on some throwing darts. I realized I'm pretty low on mine, and I haven't grabbed any since we started. So if that's something that can be bought here, I'd be happy to do that.
Yes, throwing darts. They cost. I'm going to imagine. What is the. They are 5 copper pieces.
Yeah, I would almost. I mean, it's almost like how silly would it be to buy how many, but like he would even take a bundle of like 50, just like a good amount of them just to throw into the pack.
Yeah, you hand them 1 gold, and they just have like almost like a like a Mikey who works at a Domino's. What is the thing they use for the pizza? The like a big spatula, a pizza spatula.
Peel.
The peel, like a big peel for the darts. They just go in and get you a big scoop, and you hold out your bag, and and you are just
Perfect.
loaded with all of these darts.
Love it. And that's all for me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. A half hour
I,
later. Oh.
on a shopping trip, would like to buy. I mean, this isn't at the same shop, but it's a really simple purchase. But I just want to buy 3 more potions of healing because I used 3 in that encounter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how much is
Of
that?
healing. I believe. Yep, they're 50 gold pieces
Each?
each.
Okay.
So for 150.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easy enough. I mean, it's Mulmaster. There's an abundance of everything, and now that it's not raining, people are out in droves. The rain doesn't stop business in Mulmaster, but it's definitely easier without it. Um, we could say all this kind of happens as you guys make it from the Ox Pit Tavern, making your way towards the South Road Keep, looking off to the sides, the ever-present Tower of the Wyvern, the Altar of the Black Lord, looming over the city. But with the temperature at least pleasant enough, the rain finally stopping, the water kind of washing away, Mulmaster actually feels halfway decent. And now with more potions and on the hip, a brand new spear, some new breastplates, and as many darts as you could possibly carry, you guys make your way all the way over to the South Road Keep. It's kind of looming, entrenched position, the final gateway between Mulmaster and the rest of the Moon Sea.
Real
Yeah.
quick, did we want to go talk to that Captain Hulk fella?
Captain
before
Hulk
we,
is
Oh,
at the
he's
South Road
here?
Keep. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
No, absolutely. But yes, you guys. There's anything else before we hit the South Road Keep and Captain Hulk? Now's the time. You pass by. The Zenitrum Ghetto is not very far off from here. You pass by just pretty much everything, minus like the northward gates and some of like the super ritzy parts of town. But you pass just about everything on your way here.
Anywhere close to the Shrine of Mask?
It would be a detour, but not a significant detour. It's kind of in the more western parts of the city, but yeah, easy enough to make a stop by.
Okay. Yeah, she Nah, it's not a huge deal. She doesn't want to waste our time any further. It's already midday. We gotta get going.
Yeah, feeling a little bit about the late start from the hangover. You guys head to the South
Yeah.
Road Keep, and immediately present yourselves to the City Watch and ask for Captain Hulk, and they go and open the door, lead you up, not as high up as Mesquier's, but over to Hulk, and the door opens to a rather nicely furnished office. There's a singular window that points back into kind of the city, giving a small, like, heightened view. Jove, you can see through the window. It ever so faintly sees kind of the hill that hosts the Shrine of Malar, and where your very own tree is. And they're sitting at a small kind of desk. Not nearly the same amount of paperwork in front of him is a human male. He's a young-looking man with close-cropped black hair, a neatly trimmed mustache and beard. He wears a tabard with the official Mulmaster crest on it, with a leather vest partially visible underneath. There's a suit of immaculately polished chainmail and a shield displayed in a corner behind him. A gleaming longsword with a ruby-studded pommel hangs on the adjacent wall. And there are 4 kind of black cherry chairs and a large and front of this kind of nice desk, the wood matching on both of them. You can see a number of papers are spread over the desk as well, showing a map showing Mulmaster stretching all the way down south to Raven's Bluff, which is in Vesperin, with a couple of different points on it written on this exact map. As he looks up and sees you all and says, "Oh, hello. Welcome. I'm Captain Hulk. I've heard you all are here at the behest of Sergeant Masker. It's a pleasure to meet you all. Please, take a seat." As he stands up and gestures to the 4 seats in front of him.
Ronak will go ahead and take a seat.
Same here.
Jasper will keep standing.
I'll sit.
Captain Hulk goes back to his seat and pulls up his chair with kind of a scratch of the floor beneath. Well, I've introduced myself. Would I please give me the pleasure of introducing yourselves? I'm Captain
Joe Featherfoot of of Featherdale. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure. Jove of Featherdale. Looks to you, Rornek.
Ronak Habrea.
I'm sorry, what was the second half of that? Rornak what?
Habrea.
Habrea. Strange. Don't think I've ever heard someone with a name quite like that.
Yeah, big town.
Yes, it is. A mighty and grand, but large town is an understatement. You are allowed.
Fred.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Fred Lap. Yep.
Ah, a cloak. An
Yep.
assistance from the cloak is such a boon. You have no idea.
I hear that every time someone sees my necklace.
For good reason. Lastly, I invite you to take a seat. I promise they're quite fine quality.
I'm happy to stand. The name's Jasper.
Suit yourself. Well, I welcome you all here. You have come with a bit of fervor from Sergeant Maskier. Congratulations and well done with the business with the that foulness beneath our city of Mulmaster. It is greatly appreciated. It smiles pleasantly and kind of warmly back at you all. However, we are beginning to have troubles outside of Mulmaster, and frankly, I am in the awkward position of being responsible for the safety of caravans leaving Mulmaster, yet not having the resources necessary to send those under my employ outside of Mulmaster. And I was hoping that I could work out an arrangement, just like Sergeant Maskier, with you all to investigate this matter. Would that be agreeable?
Think so.
Wondrous.
Yeah.
Well, as of late, a number of caravans, and he begins pointing to kind of the individual kind of marks on this map, have had unnecessary hardships outside of Mulmaster. However, unlike the typical rabble and highwaymen that we see, it seems to be consistent through right here. And he points to kind of what appears to be about a 60-mile kind of path of land, heading in between kind of where the flooded forest like starts and ends to about halfway to Mulmaster, what would be the better part of a day's, it would be like a day's journey on horseback. So far, there have been a unfortunate number of caravans who have been attacked in the same stretch of land. The odd part is that in each of these instances, the attackers only grabbed coins, gems, and food, really. Didn't matter if they were caravanning furs or perfumes, fabrics, or other goods. They seemed to abandon the rest of them. I am more than willing to pay you all to investigate this matter, to clear out this road. However, I know that simply just sending 4 individuals, one including a cloak, just onto the road to wander is a fool's errand and may not draw the proper attention. So I currently am in talks with a wealthy gnomish merchant by the name of Anghara Hedix. She's leaving Mulmaster bound south for Tantris. I would like you all to persuade her to take me up on my offer of an entourage to go with Anghara on a joint venture, if you will. You all would journey south with her, keeping an eye out for this banditry that is becoming such a nuisance. And in no short terms, let Anghara and her caravan be your bait. But under no circumstances must you illuminate Miss Hedix to the potential of danger on the road. In doing so, she may cancel her trip and our venture would be less fruitful. Upon success of your part in our dealings, I'm happy to pay you 150 gold pieces as a flat fee, and for every single one of this banditry that you all bring back, I'd be happy, privileged even, to pay you 50 gold pieces for each one you bring back alive. So, what say you all?
So this isn't a.
Go ahead.
You-
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So this Anhara lady, she hasn't heard wind of this dangerous road situation so far.
No, we've been able to keep this information for simply those with the ability to enact some sort of supervision over it, allowing it to go to other individuals, especially in a city such as Mulmaster, would only incur panic and the sort of destabilization that is such a poison to a city like Mulmaster.
Makes sense. But I jumped all over you, Rory. Sorry for cutting you off. What'd you have there?
I guess I was just partially confused. So, you want us to not speak about the troubles that are there, yet how do we explain bringing back 50 gold apiece bandits with us?
Oh, and Hara simply needs to make it through the rest of her journey. As soon as you find the banditry, you may break off and do what you will. Once you've taken care of the problem, it will be of no consequence. See,
Right.
you're implying that you'll be successful in your endeavor, and if that is such to be the truth, then why worry the people of Mulmaster and our vast number of merchants and caravans? Such situation will only bring about distrust.
That's fair. I guess I just was wondering if we were heading back to Mulmaster with our companion. That was my confusion.
And easy to make mistake. Have no matter of it. I'm here to illuminate any of the doubts you may have. For you see, I'm
Well,
in dire need of your support.
Do you
Well,
have means for us to restrain our captives?
Oh, should you require any sort of manacles or accessories of rope and the such, or the likes, I would be happy to abide by any sort of equipment you may need.
Yeah, I was thinking manacles.
And yes, you, Jove, I believe you had something to add as well.
yeah, I've protected some caravans in my day, and typically it's easier to convince somebody that folks like us carrying around sharp pointy things to come along if there's a
a sense of danger. If Anhara already rebuffed your efforts to get her to do whatever it is you want her to do, I suppose I question the business sense of us going down there and saying, "Hey, we need to be with you on this caravan, but it's not dangerous, but just in case, be there."
Well, perhaps you have a sort of diplomacy. Perhaps you could convince her using any sort of means as a way to add yourself to the excursion. Quite frankly, I don't care how you do it, nor do I frankly care of Anghara's success or survival, if it means at the end you will bring this banditry to Mulmaster, or at the very least, decimate them for wherever they're hiding. How you do it, frankly, is outside of Mulmaster and not my concern. The banditry of these caravans and its effect on the finances of Mulmaster is.
At least that's an honest answer.
So, I ask again, will you be willing to decimate these banditries? The roads outside of Mulmaster are always a danger, but this is becoming far too consistent, hurting far too much of Mulmaster's illustrious business that simply can't go unchecked.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, if you're saying that these folks are raiding caravans and just stealing food and leaving all the important stuff still on there, that's not folks looking to go fence items. That's folks looking to hole up and build something. So that rat's nest's only going to get bigger.
I concur with your most insightful thoughts.
But I'm only one member of this team, so folks, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm always down to end some banditry.
As the panic that this news of banditry is the panic that would cause, is that really only worth 150 gold to you?
Oh. A native. What do you think that sort of peace of mind is worth?
I'd say 250 would be more reasonable.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okie dokie. That's an 18.
A true Mulmasterite through and through. Yes, 250 would buy me and the city so much peace of mind. 250, and the additional 50 gold pieces for each of these bandits you bring back. Alive, of course. However, don't let that stop you from decimating all of them. It would, in fact, be so much cost-effective more if you wouldn't. But justice must be served, and if it's within your skill sets, well, you've convinced me through our little exchange here of your insightful and frugal skill sets.
Yeah, I think we can do that for you.
Well, that's 3 of you. And what about you, Rornak? With the exceptionally difficult last name.
Well, I was always ready for it, but yeah, I'm good to go on this one. As long as Jasper here believes we're at a fair rate, then I think we have a deal.
Well, Then let us put it to quill to parchment. And he pulls out a long writ and signs to the and quickly writes out in to the sum of 250 gold pieces upon completion of the eradication of banditry on the uh, road south of Mulmaster, and for 50 gold pieces per live captives of such acts of banditry, Captain Gideon Holt is beholden to. What do I call you all?
Or the odd jobs.
The
Yeah.
odd jobs. Beholden to the odd jobs for said sum. Agreeing parties sign on the dot, and Captain Gideon Holt writes with a big flourish and then has 4 spaces underneath for you all to sign.
Does the contract say said sum, or does it have the actual number?
It has the actual number.
Okay.
Yeah, Jasper will, or I mean, Jove will.
Don't tell me what I'll fucking do.
Yeah, a little Freaky Friday situation. No, yeah, Jove will write the Joe Featherfoot name with the appropriate flourish. And I think that the rest of the party, as they see Jove's signature on the page, might be surprised at the eloquence to it. Kind of belies his portly features.
It's like way nicer of a signature than he thought his kind of meat paw like hands are capable of, Throwing javelins? Sure. Writing a signature that nice? Especially for you, Freddy, and Jasper. Surprisingly nice. Not bad. It's got some swagger to it.
Directly below it in like rough chicken scratch, Jasper.
Damn it, that was exactly what I was gonna say. It was literally exactly what I was gonna say.
Siblings.
I guess siblings. I was gonna say chicken scratch too. Yeah, it's he gets all the letters on there for sure. All the F, R, E, and D, and then just a big old L.
Just like this on this page is like super like classic Mulmaster right writs like that you see on all their contracts, and then big flourishy Captain Gideon Hulk, like big boisterous like Jove, Featherfoot, Featherdale, and then underneath just Jasper, and then Fred L.
Oh,
And a final remaining spot.
Rornak will write down Rornak H, and I feel like it would be drawn out, like he draws it out or writes it out like kind of slow, and it's almost written like a little bit like extra wide, like as if it is written to be able to just be like totally legible. It's not really looking for style or grace or anything. It's just very plain and wide, almost in a sense.
Like 1980s text on a computer screen. Just so rigid, like in a wide kind of way. Just definitely doesn't look like people wrote this. Everything else looks people, but the way Rornak writes is just like, that's not how you do any of that. But I see where you're going with it. It's very peculiar on there, especially in the midst of this, of just like grandiloquent signatures to just absolute like the angriest children you've ever seen. Like signatures to then Rory's like, you're like the Polygon in Pokemon. You're just like, well, you're just not correct. um, Captain Gideon.
Porygon's great. I love him.
Yeah. So Captain Gideon Hulk takes the writs and packs it away with your signature. Leads you back out the South Road Keep provide you with monocles. We'll say 2 for each of you, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2 manacles apiece as you guys head out through the South Road Keep. As you're passing through the gates of Mulmaster, the North Road stretches into the foothills to the south. 2 wagons have been pulled off to the side, laden with goods and festooned with a number of lamps, banners, and collapsed awnings. A pair of dwarven women and a trio of gnomes eye you cautiously as you approach. One of the gnomes, a woman with gray-streaked, dark red hair, comes around to greet you. The air is filled with ringing and clinking as her extensive and gaudy jewelry collection bounces in time with her step. "You must be my ordained entourage," she says with a kind of a wry smile on her face. "Good afternoon. I'm Enghara Hedix." And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Hey.
I like her
Nice.
already.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well,
I not tell her about what's happening, I guess.
well,
We'll see how I feel.
Yeah.
well. Yeah, decisions to be had. What a nice, lovely little pick me up of an adventure. There's a lot of really good RP. This is a lot of fun. Welcome to level 4, guys. You've earned it.
Yay.
Yay.
Most definitely. You guys worked for every single experience point, and you guys have earned it 110%. Chat, I'll reiterate to anybody who wasn't there for me to say it the first time. 1, sorry about the first 30 minutes of this not being on here. That actually hurts me quite a bit. But we will not be playing next Sunday. The backers are doing their summer vacation as they do, and so with the player down, we don't play together unless we're a whole team. So we'll be off for next week, but we will be back the week afterwards for our regularly scheduled D&D game. So let us say goodnight to chat.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.
Nighty night, chat.
Good night, chat. Peace in the Middle East, and much love.